It does start off pretty slow. You do have to be a bit patient with it, and please do read everything the game is telling you. I know it's a bit annoying having pop-ups come up on the screen. I will work out how that is something I have received feedback on, and I'm going to work on a better way to show people how to play the game. I might probably not give them as much information to read and something a bit more interactive, but the information is important, so please read it. So please do read. It will tell you how what the treasure does, what lives do, how to use the key. That's a big one. How to use the key. One of the biggest things is that because people don't read, they don't actually know how to go through how to actually go to the next level. So they're stuck on level 1 forever. So yeah, please do read it. If you do have the pop-up come up and you forget something that's on there, you can go to the question mark, which is in the bottom right corner.
I wrote for a retro game manual book with 50 pages.
Back in my day, Bendara, back in my day, we had game manual books. We got little manual books with the game. They were great to read. I don't like. It was fantastic. And if you didn't read it, you just worked out how to play the game yourself. Like, you know what I mean? It just seems like a lot of people these days, that the convention with players these days, with the technological advancements that we've had in society, seems like most of the population, not everyone, but most of the population, seems to not want to read anything.
I still remember the CHONKY manuals in games like Pikmin or Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah, even like Zelda, like they had manuals. You know, back in the Nintendo 64 days. You know, great just to read through and stuff. Like, especially like really even older games. Magic Carpet was one, actually, a Bullfrog game. I really enjoyed that game. They made a sequel to it, kept Magic Carpet 2. Loved that game.
Well,
absolutely loved that game.
I also belong to those days.
Yeah. Those manuals, they tell you everything. Well, they tell you everything that you need to know. Like, you know, if you ever get lost with something, you can just read them. So I made a help directory.
They went slimmer and slimmer. Less information. Eventually it was just a white warning, health sheet. Then later the Nintendo points tickets, but that was it.
Yeah, they stopped going, they stopped putting all the manuals there. And they started putting everything in the game. Either the game showed you how to play it, you know, itself, or they gave you like a little directory you can go to in the game, which is great. And this is what I've got in my game. If you go to this here, down here, if you go to this thing, you'll get a menu called Help Directory, and you can actually read anything about the game in there. It shows you, it's basically all the information I put in the game is in that Help Directory, right here. And you can click on whatever you want to do. How do you move? We'll tell you about how to do it. Goal, what the goal's about, with the key. You know, press enter key. The bread blocks, what they're for. And, you know, it gives you a bit of a clue that items can be found under the bread. Now, that's a big one, because you'll need to... You'll probably end up working this out eventually, this part, but especially like when it comes to later levels. But when it becomes absolutely critical in the full version. Collecting treasure, what it means. Every 10,000 points earns you a life. Secret runes, what they do. This doesn't really tell you what they do, because you've got to kind of discover it yourself, but it could be good or bad. You can activate one to see what it does. Some of the runes, as we get deeper into the grove, to contribute to you know, critical means of being able to pass the level. Resurrection. You know, if you get eaten, it will tell you about, you know, all about the concept of resurrection. Some power-ups. We're talking about invisibility. You know, glowing orbs with a symbol in the middle. The power-ups. You'll see this. It gives you a bit of a clue as to what it is by looking at it. Invisibility prevents every enemy claims from seeing Cheeky, but with their snapping habits, even though Cheeky cannot be seen, they can still eat him. So you've got to be careful about that. You probably want transparency in the full version. Transparency, you can be seen, but you can't be eaten. It's basically the opposite. So little things like that. There's also a strength power up. That's an interesting one. Got to make some modifications to that in the full version. Make it even more interesting. Lolly Packet. Lolly Packet's a skill. Gives you the ability, basically, if you pick up an item, in this particular case, the Lolly Packet, and the hammer's a similar thing. If you pick up one of these items, it unlocks the ability for that level only for you to use the Lolly Packet. And if you press spacebar, you can drop existing lollies, and you can lure clams into eating them. And while you're luring them, they're actually eating all the bread along the way, right? So you indirectly, but have some degree of control over which you know, bread blocks you do. You have to strategically place them. You got to think about this, right? You got to think about this. You don't want to drop a lolly, and you can't drop lollies. I've seen players do this. Just some advice while you've got me on stream is that you cannot you cannot use the lolly packet to distract the clams while they're chasing you. Well, that's while Chomp's chasing you, in particular. The others won't really care about lollies either. They like you. They like smiley faces a whole lot better. They see you as more tasty than any lolly that you drop on the ground. So just so you know, they'll still eat it, but they'll still come after you. So just be careful. And we've got Chomp the Chaser. So Chomp the Chaser, I'll be putting like all the, as you discover them, right? They'll be in here. So as you discover things, I will list it here, and this will just be a thing. So basically, it will tell you about Chomp the Chaser, because once you get introduced to a clan, they talk to you. As you see in level 1 of the demo version. So basically, Chomp the Chaser is a cave clam that comes out when he's hungry and chews his way around the place, looking for anything edible like bread and smiley faces. Whenever Chomp sees Cheeky, he will start chasing him until he either loses him or eats him before returning to his usual roaming routine of eating bread and anything else. So just